You know what's really scary? The fact that it's July 21st and you still have not put up one Halloween listing. And that's not just from me. Yes, I do think Halloween should be every single day of the year, and that's what it is in my house. But in this video, I'm going to show you how Etsy and craft stores are telling us that now is the best time to start listing for fall and Halloween. I'm also going to show you 5 different designs that are performing super well in the space right now, and I'm also going to show you 2 designs that have stood the test of time and have actually performed over the past 2 Halloweens, and they're projected to perform again this year. So if you're anything like me, and you think spooky season starts the day after fireworks end, you're gonna wanna stick around for this video. Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is actually not look at Etsy at all. I wanna show you guys how I know that things are doing well right now based on one of our local craft stores. So you guys know I talk about Michaels a lot on our Trends in the Wild series, and they just dropped their fall and Halloween collection last week, and today is July 7th when I'm recording this. Since the craft stores are a little bit ahead of schedule, that allows us the opportunity to see what could potentially be trending in these spaces and get our listings up as soon as possible because they already did their due diligence and now it's our turn. Okay, so you'll see by just typing in Halloween into Michaels, it takes me here that says exclusive decor just dropped. They also have some flower stuff, and this is something that is new this year. It's called the Bound by Magic Decor collection. So this might be something that is going to be trending over the next couple of months. And you can also see that these things just recently dropped for Michaels as well. So they are always ahead of the game when it comes to trend forecasting. And you're going to see a couple of these things that are already available in the collection section and a couple of things that are coming soon that we are getting a sneak peek into by simply going to michaels.com and typing in Halloween. All right, so now we've had a chance to look at that. Let's go into Etsy and do the exact same research. So the first thing I will do is go ahead and just type Halloween into the search bar. And if you do have the EverBee extension like I do, you will see a couple of worker bees getting to work for us already and telling us what is potentially already being looked up over the past 30 days. Again, when I'm recording this, it is July 7th. So that means over 2,000 people have already been looking up Halloween sweatshirt in the month of June, which is a really good thing that you're watching this video because you're going to want to start getting these things out way faster than everybody else that's going to wait until around September or so. So let's actually take a look at Halloween book just because I'm interested. I haven't seen this yet. This is all very live, and just see what's performing in that space. Interesting. All right, so when I'm in any of these searches, since I do have the EverBee extension, I'm going to see this like high-level listing details pop up at the bottom of each of the listings in the search. And what I'm kind of looking for is something that was built recently, so within the past, 1 to 3 months maximum, because that is usually around the season when we start getting ready for Halloween, usually in the summer. And I want to make sure that something is doing well during that space. All right, so here's something that's interesting. So this one right here is a little bit older than I would like to look at, but what's interesting is we are 12 months ago this listing was built, which means it would have been July of 2025, and they received an average of 10 monthly sales. I want to see how many sales in total they've done by simply clicking on the listing details and opening it up. So right now we'll see this particular listing only did around 50 total sales over the past year, and they more than likely were in that time period, but let's kind of see what the last 12 months tell us. Just what I thought. So you'll see some sales started to take place right here in September. 6 sales, October was 9, November, interestingly enough, was 12, and we actually ended up getting a few of them also leading into the new year. But we're also seeing an uptick on this one in May of 2026. So 10 of the 50 items for this particular design right here of this little skeleton reading a book, and it's embroidered on a black sweatshirt, actually took place in May of 2026. So not only are we looking for things that are a little bit younger, but we want to also look for things that potentially did well this time last year and are also starting to see a little bit of an uptick. If you have the business plan of EverBee like I do, you're able to see exactly what that looks like across the lifetime of the listing rather than just the past 30 days. So for example, if I want to do the last 24 months, because that's how old this particular listing is, I'm able to see that of the 834 sales, that September of 2024, 177 sales took place, and they listed this item, as you can see, in July of 2024. So that's exactly why we're talking today, because they had a little bit of a ramp up where just 1 month later, that particular listing, I'll show it again, this cute library book kind of ghost situation, they got 91 sales in their first month, and then it jumped up to 177, and then in October it was 87. So isn't that interesting? Combined, more sales took place for this particular listing in August and September than it ever did in October. Now there still were some obviously obviously that took place in October, but it is coming down the hill there. And then we'll see the exact same thing happen in 2025. So in June, nothing. In July, 90 of this particular item was purchased. August, 135 was purchased. September, 91. October, 64. And now you're starting to see a little bit of an uptick. So this is really, really good information to have. Again, if you have the business plan, you are able to see the lifetime trends of that particular item like I am today. So I'm able to see that this potentially is something that will do well again because it has stood the test of time and proven that sales take place during the months of June through October for 2 years straight for this particular item. So we're going to save this one. I'm going to go ahead and view this on Etsy and save this for when we're getting ready to create. All right, so let's go back up to the search and just type in Halloween to have a little bit more of a broad search. So I kind of like the idea of the Halloween sweatshirt we saw earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and type in Halloween shirt. All right, now what we can do is the exact same process we did a second ago where you're going through the high-level listing details if you'd like, but in this case, I am going to go ahead and use product analytics to just go a little bit faster. I'm going to come over here and open up my EverBee research side panel, and I want to make sure that I'm in the 200 million plus listings section, so the EverBee database, and you'll see that with the words Halloween shirt, what is that, 1.1 million listings. I might even remove shirt and just keep Halloween, but for right now's purposes, we'll go ahead and keep this. Now, what we can do is that is a lot of listings to go through. I don't want to spend all of my time going through 1.1 million listings. What I want to do instead, again, is what is happening right now, what is performing super well right now, that will potentially be taking off over the next couple of months by clicking on any of these three built-in filters. I'm going to go ahead and choose new and hot for this one. And what I like to personally do is not only select new and hot, which brought us down to 91 listings, and you'll see this is highlighting new listings that are already gaining strong traction with buyers. So they are no older than 3 months old, and they have a minimum of 100 sales already. So you'll see those filters are built in for you. So that's what new and hot means, but I also like to go ahead and bring the growth rate up to the top as well. So not only is this going to show us things that are less than 3 months old and have a minimum of 100 sales, but we're also going to see over the past 30 days, how well has it done? How much growth has it experienced? So we'll see this one right here, trendy, haunted house king, brushstroke design, a spooky season, very girly oriented design. This is obviously a digital product, a digital download that other people are purchasing, but knowing that people, 111 people over the past 112, whatever it is, over the past month have purchased this digital product means that either they are putting it in their stores or they're interested in making something for themselves. But that tells me that if this is happening over the past month from June to July, that something like this could do well over the next couple of months. I also like to scroll down a little bit and see if there are any keywords that might be beneficial. So I kind of like girly fall, boho fall, brushstroke. Granted, there's a lot of people competing for that space, but that's something that I wouldn't have even known that this was a trend or what it was called. So now we know when we're ready to build something like this exactly what to call it in our AI prompt. Floral fall, spooky season king. Again, all of these are going to be digital products, but if we're looking to build this ourselves, whether it's a print-on-demand product, a handmade product, whatever it is, we can easily now use something like Brushstroke to make it happen. And you'll see this is also currently in 8 carts right now. I'm going to keep this one over here so that when we get ready to create, we also have something to go off of. So I don't want to go with any of these things because, again, that's going to be a trademark issue. That's actually really cute. So this is something that could potentially do well now, not just in September, because it's kind of like saying like, I want it to be fall already. I think we might have missed the mark a little bit on this one, where we might want to get that a little bit earlier. As you can see, this was listed 2 months ago, and it's again July 7th today, so this was listed in the month of May. However, what we could do is, especially if you have an Appa shop like I do, I could very, very simply run meta ads to this immediately. So I won't have to wait for the Etsy algorithm to organically show me over the next 2 to 3 months, where this kind of design style would not make a lot of sense anymore because it is fall at that point. So I'm going to actually build something like this for my shop that's going to make sense for my brand, and I'm going to put meta ads behind it very, very quickly so I can get this to the market quickly. Something else you guys could do if you do have an Etsy shop as well is the exact same thing, but with Etsy ads. So you would run traffic to this particular listing immediately right now in the month of July, because people are going to be wearing this, as you can see, during Summerween or during the months of June, July, and August. So that's 3 different options that we found together today in a matter of a few minutes. But next, what I want to do is find one more option that again has stood the test of time. So something that did well over the past 1 to 2 Halloweens. So by doing so, I'm simply going to remove the listing and we're going to go back to the original search here. I'm going to go ahead and remove shirt and just have Halloween. And when I do that, you're going to see we are now at 4.4 million listings related to Halloween. So I'm still going to look for the same concepts that I was looking for earlier. I'm just going to build out my own filters. So for the listing age, I'm going to go ahead and put 24 being the max, meaning I want to see listings that are no more than 2 years old. So that's going to bring us down to 3 million. I also want to see that we are no less than, let's call it 250% growth rate. So month over month, we have experienced these kinds of growth rates. Now we're down to 193. I also want to make sure that we have a minimum of 50 sales. I would actually prefer more, but in this particular case, we're going to do 50. So now what I'm going to do is go through this and see if there's anything that has been live for at least one Halloween season, preferably 2, and potentially stood the test of time during those seasons. So not only did it just peak in October, but there was a little bit of an increase from the months of July through November so that we can determine if it's something that would be beneficial for us to build out today. All right, so we got one here. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is 23 months old. It says bride or die and till death do us part. So these are bachelorette can koozies, whatever you say in your language. I call them koozies my whole life, but I've been told that's wrong. Let's go ahead and do all time on this one too. All right, so 187 sales in general. And the good news is these actually are almost evergreen. So we're seeing in July, they took off and they went through around December. And then in 2024, in September, they took off and went down in March. But we're also seeing in May there is an uptick as well. So this might be something that has proven to stand the test of time. And this also is something that might be a little bit more evergreen as well, simply because bachelorette parties happen all year, not just during that season. I'm going to go ahead and add this to our list. All right, so we are back in our EverBee side panel today, but we are going to keyword research instead of product analytics. Now, what is really cool about the keyword research tool is we just recently added the ability to add multiple keywords at one time and be able to look at them all collectively. Before, it used to be one keyword at a time, but now you can see we can search multiple keywords at once by simply separating them with commas, or you can also paste from an Excel sheet or a Google sheet. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do Halloween, comma, spooky season, comma, spooky, Halloween shirt, and let's just call it that, right? So we'll go ahead and search and we'll see that the 4 are now brought up: Halloween, spooky season, spooky, and Halloween shirt. What you're going to see is the volume of search on the top, the competition, so how many people are competing for space in that particular keyword, and then the keyword score. So that's what you're going to see these little numbers are here. And then you'll also see the corresponding colors. So green being obviously good, red being bad, yellow being potential, and then gray being nothing. So what we're seeing here is 4.5 million keywords related to 4 that I looked up. So what I personally like to do, instead of scrolling through 4.5 million of these, is also use the filters like I used in product analytics. And in order to do so, simply come over here and click filter, and you're able to filter out all of these 4 columns. So what I want to do is an absolute minimum for volume. I want to have at least 1,000 people that are searching the word, and I want to have at most 5,000 people competing for that word or phrase. So for this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and delete Halloween shirt because I don't want anything with sweatshirt or shirts to come up. And now we're going to have a lot less, right? So we have 1,100 keywords that we're able to go through now that match these exactly. My last step here is I really want to bring the competition up to the top. Now, some people might be like, why would you want to do that? Because we want to have things that have the smallest competition as possible. But unfortunately, it's garbage in, garbage out sometimes with these kind of platforms. So if we were to go based off of volume, it might be simply misspelled words. So what I want to do instead is bring competition to the top so that we can potentially find keywords or long tail key phrases that other people saw value in as well, but also not too many people saw value in. So a couple of things I'm seeing immediately: spooky, ghostly, decor coming in at 4,800 for competition, 1,300 at volume. I'm also seeing Halloween setting and Halloween settings. So this could be a little bit like what your table setting is or what you put like in your entertainment center. Personal Halloween gift is being looked up at least 2,000 times with only 4,000 people in competition. Colorful ghost Halloween, another good one right here. Another one, Halloween fall coloring. So this could be a coloring book, of course, or it could be watercolor illustrations, whatever it is. that's under here, but 1,000 people are looking that up. Oh, another one's really exciting here is Spooky Comfort Color Halloween. So knowing that maybe the Comfort Colors product and fabric might be something that does really well in this space, and less people are looking it up and less people are competing for it. Here's one that's kind of interesting. Halloween icing. So it's 4,500 people are looking up the term Halloween icing, and there's only 3,000 people in competition for it. Same thing for Halloween gifted, 4,000 versus 3,000. Gifted for Halloween, 3,000 versus 3,000. So it really allows me the opportunity to find things that maybe other people might not have been thinking to use. And then we also are able to see, you know, things that people are using, but not too many competing in that space. And the last thing I want to show you guys today in the keyword research space is being able to see what collective tags people are using across a certain search. So another thing that I like to do is go back into product analytics, type in whatever search I want. And as you can see, we're still at the 4.4 million. You can filter out, you can do whatever you want here. I'm going to go ahead and just use the new and hot filter for today's purposes. And instead of being under product analytics, I'm actually going to click tag analytics instead. And then this is also going to be a location where you are going to be able to see, again, a collective list of all of the different tags that people under your particular filter and your particular searched word are currently using, including the volume of search and the competition for each of them. So simply choosing tag analytics under your search through product analytics is giving me 232 additional things to potentially look through as well. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. This is absolutely my favorite time of the year and my favorite space to design in. If you got any value from this video, please let me know by giving it a boop on that like button and subscribing to the channel if you're not already a member here. We post brand new videos every single Tuesday and go live every single Thursday for our community. And if you're even more ahead of the game and you'd like to see how you can utilize the rest of this month to get ready for the rest of Q4, including the holiday season, I highly encourage you to check out this video above my head that I posted just a couple weeks ago. Don't worry, you're not late unless it's already September. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.